Welcome back, gents. We're testing benchmark powder with Speer 75 grain hollow point bullets in our 6-arc platform. Whew. This is extrapolated data. This is basically taken from the Hornady load manual where they have their VMAX 75 grain bullet. This is not that bullet. This is Speer's varminter bullet. Their 75 grain hollow point bullet. And what we're doing, we're just seeing how this powder charge treats that bullet. Starting pretty close to the minimum, going almost to the maximum, and I'm glad I stopped short there because I started to get some primer cratering. That said, gross graduations, and you can see here, they're not all equal. Like this minimum charge, only 3. Enough yapping, let's get to looking at things. A lot of vertical stringing here, nothing too impressive. This is an 1.5-inch group, roughly. Things tighten up, but we have a shift impact up here where our maximum was up there, and it's crescent shape with horizontalness. Here, things switch diagonal, and again, verticality comes into play. That's a theme, because here, things tighten up, we still have verticality though. And then lastly, our maximum charge that we use, 28 grains, it almost looks like double grouping, and it looks like the group is getting worse. So I think if we were to graph this as a sine wave, where things are awful, getting better, awful, getting better, here, things are starting to get worse, I'm betting. So I'm glad that I didn't do a full test. Then again, even if I want to, I couldn't because I didn't have the bullets left. But I'm still glad that I did this. None of this is terrible, but none of this is great, and it's still totally smoke a coyote. I don't have the velocity data, but this should be going approximately 2,900 feet per second, which nothing to sneeze at. Like I said, it'd smoke a coyote. Actually, while I'm out here, let me show you guys something. Gotta take off the brass catcher. I want to show you this magazine, the new magazine I bought. There we go. So this is an A.R. Stoner magazine, which looks almost exactly like my original magazine, the CMMG. I even did a video testing a different types of magazines. The other one I have is Amend 2, which is behind me. Let me go ahead and grab it. Here you go. All these are 10-round magazines. This is kind of operating like a single stack. I'll have to put a link up here for that magazine comparison. But anyway, so this is almost exactly like this. And I know what you're saying right off the bat. Didn't you say the one on the left was A.R. Stoner? How come it says ASC right there? Well, probably because ASC made it. But don't worry, it is branded A.R. Stoner. There you go, there's proof. But man, the big thing I'm noticing is just the build quality. Like, look at this. See how it's kind of folded and riveted? And yeah, it has its finish on there, but things look kind of modeled. Whereas here, look at here. To me, it looks like they put a little bit more effort into trying to make things, I don't want to say make things look pretty, but I'm going to go ahead and say make things look pretty. You can still see the rivets, but things definitely look a lot more finished, don't they? Look at those. Whoops. Let's do a side-by-side. Look at that. Let's do the front side too. There. Yeah. So the CMMG definitely looks a lot better. And also, here's another quick little thing to notice. There's some subtle differences here too. Barely. And it's hard for me to point out. There's something here going on. But also, look at the wings. The lip, I'm sorry, I can't indicate well. Right here looks a little bit lower. That also looks a little bit lopsided. But the wings to the A.R. Stoner magazine look a little bit lower, a little bit broader, don't they? So it's subtle, but it's there. And it should be noted for this test, I did use this, and I didn't have a single failure of the feed. So whatever magic juice they put into this magazine, apparently it worked. But still, the build quality is kind of junk. I forgot the main reason why I took off the brass catcher. So this is why I say the build quality is definitely lower as well. Not just for aesthetics, but I'm going to press the magazine release here. saw it barely budge, didn't you? And it did not drop at all. I have to pull that out of there. It's a little bit too wide. This is something that is actually common for me for AR Stoner mags. I guess this is ASC, but still. Whereas CMMG, let's not load it backwards. Here we go. And practically rockets it right out of there. Same for the MN2. Then again, this is polymer. So yeah, too tall, but you guys get the point. But it feeds the best. So for this rifle, since it's mostly, I'm hunting paper, this is not a something I use for self-defense or whatever. I murder paper with this thing. That's what I do. So its primary function, and the most important function for me, serves its purpose. So there you go.